Welcome to Unit 9, Section 4, our very last section, Finding and Succeeding and Leaving a Job. After studying this lesson, you'll be able to identify resources for searching for jobs, explain the purpose of a resume and identify its components, demonstrate how to write a cover message, list 6 items that could be included in a portfolio, identify questions and one might be asked during an interview, describe guidelines for succeeding on the job, and explain needed considerations for leaving a job. Many resources are available to help you find employment opportunities. The most common method of job searching is using the internet. On the internet, you can visit credible websites dedicated to posting job opportunities in multiple industries. You can also visit specific company websites to view career opportunities available within a company. You may also find job leads in your community. Jobs may be posted on bulletin boards located in shopping areas or recreational centers or at employment agencies or advertised in newspapers. Attending a job fair, a gathering of employers and job seekers to exchange information, can be helpful in finding job opportunities. You might also find job opportunities through networking or making professional contacts with families, friends, and others, especially professionals in your career area, for job information or referrals. Through networking, you can learn more about the industry information, including potential job openings. Often, a combination of search methods is best used to find employment opportunities. A lot of you have probably already searched for a job at some point. So what factors impact your job search? What resources can you use to search for a job, or have you used in the past? Think about it. Applying for jobs requires presenting your credentials and completing a job app. While seeking employment, it is wise to have your credentials ready before applying. To apply for one, you should prepare a resume and cover message, a portfolio, and complete a job application. To apply for jobs, you will need a resume and a cover message. A resume is a brief account of your career goals, education, work experience, and other employment qualifications. The purpose of a resume is to acquire an opportunity for an interview. A cover message is a letter or email message that accompanies a resume. Its purpose is to invite potential employers to review your resume. Prospective employers look at your resume to understand more about your experiences. Your resume helps them decide whether you are qualified for a job. There are 2 types of resumes, functional resumes and chronological resumes. A functional resume is suited to applicants with much experience and emphasizes qualifications, skills, and achievements. A chronological resume focuses on your experiences and how they make you an excellent candidate. When preparing your resume, keep it easy to review. Use bullet point format, no full sentences, and clear, bold headings. Most employees and online job postings require the use of an electronic resume, a text-only file without any special formatting. A text-only resume allows potential employers to view your resume regardless of the compatibility of computer programs. It's important to carefully select educational and work history highlights when creating a personal resume. The words you use in your resume have never been more important. Many employers use applicant tracking systems that perform keyword searches based on the job description. These employers will view or not view your resume depending on how many words it has in common with that description. When writing a resume, be sure to compile a list of references. References are people other than your family members who know you well enough to discuss your qualifications for a job, like teachers, youth leaders, and former employers. Do not include references on your resume, but always have a list available upon request. Be sure that you carefully proofread your resume and are as specific as possible. Customizing your resume to the job description and using a professional-sounding email address can also increase your chances of getting an interview. For more information about resume writing, you can attend a resume writing workshop at your school or public library. When applying for jobs, you may also need to submit a cover message with your resume. In your cover message, you will introduce yourself and summarize the reason you are applying for the position without repeating your attached resume. Remember, the purpose of a cover message is to highlight some of your job-related skills and qualifications and to capture the interest of your employer enough that they give you an interview. For online applications, a cover message is often transmitted in the body of an email you send to a potential employer. Cover messages can make a lasting impression. A good message is brief, positive, customized to the job description, and follows specific instructions. Make sure your message is neat and follows standard business format. Be sure to check the spelling and punctuation. Many people seeking jobs have the qualifications to match the job description, but are not interviewed because of grammatical errors and misspellings in their cover messages. Consider having several people proofread your message and offer advice on improvements. Many job seekers prepare a portfolio to show when interviewing prospective employers. A portfolio is an organized collection of materials that supports your job qualifications and reflects your work, academic, and personal experiences. Your portfolio may be a physical copy that you take with you to interviews or a digital copy called an electronic portfolio. Electronic portfolios can be shared digitally or uploaded as websites. Whichever format you choose, make sure to update your portfolio on a regular basis to reflect new skills and qualifications. Preparing a portfolio involves accumulating items for your portfolio over time and assembling them in an organized format. These portfolio items should be organized around an objective or purpose. For example, the objective of a portfolio might be to showcase your experience in childcare to a hiring childcare center. Some of the items you would want to include would be your resume and cover message, transcripts from your education and standardized test scores, samples of your best job or school-related work, like videos or writing samples, letters of recommendation documenting your work-related skills, honors and awards, proof of membership in student or professional organizations, a personal statement describing your goals and how they came to be important to you, summaries of volunteer work, certifications or licenses, a list of references that can vouch for your character and qualifications. If you are unsure of what items to showcase in a portfolio, consider your career plan. If you are seeking an entry-level job upon graduation, showcase both the general and career-specific skills you need. For example, in child-related careers, experience working with children and families is most important. Your portfolio should reflect experience working with children and your understanding of child development. Your portfolio might include essays written for a child development course, lists of activities planned while working with children, or a summary of your experiences. When using your portfolio to apply for college and scholarships, match your portfolio to admission and scholarship requirements. Student portfolios should contain samples of academic and extracurricular activities. Prospective employers may ask you to complete a job application. The application asks for information like your name, address, social security number, educational background, and work history. Information on your application and resume should match. Job applications often ask for references too. Employers may contact your references to find out more about you when making a hiring decision. Your references may include past employers, teachers, coaches, and other adults who you know very well. So what has been your experience completing job applications? What information did you need in order to do so? Think about it. After an employer has reviewed your job application or resume and cover message, they may need to contact you for an interview. At the interview, you need to put your best foot forward by preparing before the interview, presenting yourself well during the interview, and following up well after. The first step in preparing for a job interview is to learn as much as you can about the job and the employer. If the company has a website, thoroughly study the site. Use your network to find people who are familiar with the employer and learn as much information as you can from them. As you prepare for the interview, consider some of the questions you might be asked and how you would answer them. It is also a good idea to prepare some questions for the interviewer. These questions should focus on information about the business, agency, or program seeking job applicants and on the work duties required for the job position. Asking these questions shows you are interested in the job and the employer. Avoid asking any questions about pay, vacation time, or other benefits until you receive a job offer. Before the interview, ensure that your personal appearance is professional and neat. Clean, neat dress pants, dresses, or suits are appropriate, depending on the type of job you want. Be sure all of your digital devices are turned off before you approach the building site for an interview. Do not turn them on again until the interview is over and you have cleared the site. During an interview, when you arrive, introduce yourself and thank them for their time. Be sure to indicate your pleasure and enthusiasm for the interview opportunity. Offer a strong professional first impression by making direct eye contact and offering a firm handshake. Let the interviewer lead the interview and ask you a variety of questions. Questions may be related to your educational background, work experience, goals, interests, and activities. Interviewers cannot, however, ask you certain questions. If you are asked an illegal interview question, you can politely refuse to answer it. Be sure to speak clearly and confidently and be yourself. Have a print copy of your resume in your hands to consult if need be. If you are given the opportunity, present your portfolio. If the video asks you to explain one of your portfolio projects, be brief and to the point. Avoid talking while they examine your work. If the interviewer wants additional information, they will ask for it. After the interviewer, you might be offered the job. Employers often have other applicants to interview, so before they make a hiring decision, so maybe don't expect to hear right away. If there are many applicants, you might be asked to interview a second or third time before they make a decision. Potential employees may be called back to demonstrate their competencies, like interacting with children in a center or using specified computer application. Some questions they cannot ask you include, are you in a relationship? Are you married? Do you have children? Do you plan on having children? What ethnicity are you? What religion are you? Do you have a disability? They cannot ask any of those questions. Immediately after the interview, send a thank you message to the person who interviewed you. Thank them for taking the time to talk with you about the job and your career interests. Restate any important points that were made and reinforce your strong interest in the job. A thank you may be in the form of a printed letter sent through the mail or an email. Keep the letter brief and to the point. Remind them of your name and emphasize your enthusiasm again, but don't be too pushy. Remember that employment decisions can take a long time. Some notify all applicants when a decision has been made, but some do not. If you have not heard anything for a week or two, it is appropriate to send a brief follow-up message. A follow-up message is a message you send to the employer to ask about the status of the job position. Be sure your tone is positive. Avoid sounding impatient or demanding. Simply restate your interest in the job and inquire whether a decision has been made politely. A message or phone call accepting a job offer is fulfilling. When accepting an offer, remain professional and ensure your message is error-free. Think of this as your first official act as a new employee. Let your natural enthusiasm show, be positive and thank the employer, and mention you look forward to starting the job. You may also use this opportunity to confirm your understanding of the employment process going forward. If you decline the job or are not offered it, it's important to be polite and friendly still. The employer may consider you for a future position and likely has colleagues who are employers in the same career areas. Once you have been offered a job and accepted a position, put in your best effort to keep your position and succeed. Continue to maintain your employability skills such as interpersonal, communication, collaboration, and strong executive function skills. Recall your work ethic standards. Maintain a level of professionalism in interaction with coworkers, supervisors, and clients or customers. Show respect for your position by being reliable, dependable, and timely when you carry out job responsibilities. Also make sure to follow safety practices in your workplace. The Occupational Safety and Health Act established a set of health and safety guidelines to follow in the workplace. These guidelines are regulated by OSHA and the U.S. Department of Labor. Under this act, the employer is responsible for providing a safe workplace. This includes ensuring employees use proper safety gear and the workplace is free of potential hazards. The employee is responsible for following established safety guidelines. Few people stay in the same workplace for a career lifetime. People change jobs for many reasons. Sometimes they discover after working in a certain career that it's not a good match. Others outgrow their jobs for various reasons. Families are often mobile due to one spouse being transferred to another location and requiring the other spouse to seek new employment, or due to reasons other than jobs. If you plan to voluntarily leave a job, it's best to secure employment elsewhere before leaving your current job. You should not use your work time at the current job to search for another job. You can look for another job, however, in your non-working hours. Even when leaving your current job, you have an obligation to treat your employer fairly. Regardless of why you are leaving, strive to end the job on a positive note. Leaving in this way helps others remember you in a good light. In the future, you may need a reference or recommendation from your employer or coworkers. Some guidelines when leaving a job include leave when the business is less busy if possible. For example, a retailer might not want to lose employees during a busy holiday season. Avoid bragging about your new job. Show appreciation to your supervisors and coworkers for helping you learn needed skills or being positive role models. Consult the employee handbook to learn the correct procedure for ending employment. Adhere to this as you notify your employer that you wish to leave the job. Provide ample notice so they can find a suitable replacement. It may state the required time of termination notice, the company policies. If it doesn't, you will decide how much notice to give the employer. 2 weeks is usually good for an entry-level job. Complete a letter of resignation or any other termination forms. Address your notice to your direct supervisor. You may also have an exit interview. They may ask questions like, why are you leaving? Why do you expect to find another job? Be honest, but remain professional and respectful. Try to complete all current tasks. They expect and are paying for your work through the final day. You may be expected to help train the employee who will take your place. All right, that is the end of all of these videos for this class. Hope you enjoyed them. Thanks, guys.